You're okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right. So this is another video that I'm making. I'm actually making this one from the PC, testing out the camera that comes native and standard on the device. Just trying to see how that would look in motion in the video, possibly in a live stream, whatever else it may be, a video conference. It's good to just check these things out, I guess, and test out your equipment so you have a good idea of what to expect, what you're putting out there. One of the recent purchases I happened to make, because I felt it was very important, was a lights. Like, let there be light. You know, I was actually on another live stream, and everybody there had nice setups and studios and lights and equipments, microphone, and I felt pretty good, but you could barely see me, right? Like, and I think for people who are just getting into YouTube, just getting started out, it's very important to feel confident in what you're putting out there, and that requires you to make sure you put the proper steps in to get the things you need to be able to perform and produce your best work. So noticing that, damn, like the shadows on my face, you can barely see me, I look crazy. I gotta move around because I'm self-conscious about it. I'm looking at everybody else's screens, and what they have going on, not in a jealous way, but like, thinking about what I need to step up. Um, it seemed like an easy purchase and an easy investment to make, to kind of, take a step in the right direction into getting more comfortable and get more situated doing these type of videos, making this type of content, and we'll see how it goes. Pretty decent light. It was cheap. Didn't spend any real money on it. So wow, cheap shit. Look, 8-inch selfie ring light studio. Got this at Walmart. Man, shit was like $30. Um, but it holds the cell phone. It's a pretty decent light. It's got a couple different settings, and I feel a lot better about the endeavor. Just having that goes a long way into, like, just helping me feel settled, helping me feel like I'm being represented in my best light, ironically. And so here we go. So I'm making this video just to kind of put something together, just so I have something else to add as I go along, showing you what I have going on, what I'm doing with the channel, what I'm doing for the channel, what I'm putting into it, what type of things. If you are, if this ever does go somewhere and you go back and look and you see the journey, I want people to be able to see, like, where it started, right? And so that's the whole point of some of these videos. Not really trying to get into too much. It's just to kind of show you what's going on. Um, Obviously, people will naturally get a sense of me and who I am from these videos, and we'll just go from there, and I'll try to make the best out of it. I try to edit this and add some things together just to get a good test and a good feel for getting started doing that, and uh, yeah, so I'll kind of leave that there, but just to kind of add some spice to it, what happened today in the world, what happened, so today is, or was, August 19th, 2021. I guess it's a landmark day in thought culture. OnlyFans is no longer allowing pornography, hardcore pornography. So if you are doing any type of sexual acts for pay, OnlyFans is no longer supporting that, which, what can I say about that? I mean, I didn't never, I never really had a strong opinion on that. I don't knock it. Porn is already a big part of society. It's a big part of modern culture. and unfortunately, uh, OnlyFans seem like an inevitable evolution of the things that we have today. You combine porn, you combine YouTube, and there you have it, right? So I think that the fact that they have decided to no longer allow that type of content, it's a positive thing, just from the simple fact that I know if you do just show your body and do different things, you can still patronize and make a profit from that type of content if that's what you do on there. But if you're doing like hardcore sex, which you know, to be honest, there are some of the high level superstar Instagram model type women doing that, but the fact that they even allowed that in the first place, from my perspective, I feel like that allowed and that made a lot of women who may not necessarily be kind of about that life, for lack of a better term, that kind of made them feel like it's okay, right? Like, I don't got to be the baddest, but if I'm, you know what I mean? If I'm doing this, I'm doing that, like, I'll be able to get money and get followers just because of that. And like, that is not the wave, honestly, because that takes the incentive from a lot of normal everyday people, right? Like that, just may get caught up in the fast life or get caught up in wanting to make quick money. I mean, it's the same basic principle that goes into, wanting to create a YouTube page, right? You want to work for yourself, you want to do your own thing, you're using what you have. I mean, you got a poor moral compass at the time, a lack of judgment. Maybe even, you think it's okay because you're doing it with your boyfriend, or you're doing it with your significant other, or you're just kind of doing sexual acts alone, but taking it a little too far. I mean, that allowed a lot of women, men too, but mostly women, to kind of have an escape, right? And the longer that's kind of allowed to just kind of go on, who knows what impact that would have, like, on the youth, to be honest, right? Like, that's the biggest thing, and that's the only real knock I would have against it, is that, like, even now you see, and I'll be honest, just because you may happen to hop on Reddit or go somewhere or be on Twitter and see something about OnlyFans or some type of pornography, right? Like, of course, that's the only reason. No, but like, you see girls like promote the fact that they just turned 18, right? Like, so you fresh out of high school, you know what I mean? You fresh out of high school, and this is the way for you. This is the career path that you think that you can take. And like, to be honest, the thing about the internet that maybe some of us are more fortunate to know, having come up with the internet in the past, but you basically know that nothing goes away, right? Like, so no matter what you do on there, no matter who you are, like, later on in life, there is the potential, unless you become some superstar where you can get, all your information and all your past history scrubbed off the net. Um, there's a great chance and great likelihood that if somebody wants to find out and expose you, right, they would be able to. You know what I mean? And that's not the type of thing I would think a woman, once she's 30, 35, 40, trying to build a life for herself in a different avenue. I don't think that's something that she would want just kind of out there, right? Because she made a quick money decision at a young age, and like, that's the one thing that I could say, like, I see the benefit in just trying to be objective, trying to see both sides of it. Of course, man, like, let's be honest, right? Like, I ain't fucking with no OnlyFans chick, like, um, not seriously, and I guess, like, I have to be proven wrong if that's not the case, but just off face value, it's not even from like a standpoint of thinking women should be too wholesome for that, or like that's degrading. Sex work is, it's a big thing right now as well. There's some things going on YouTube that I can't get into. I'm new to the whole platform, so I can't get into that. But like, obviously, sex work and those things, they're a thing, right? They've been a thing. I remember being young and hearing about Amsterdam and how you can go over there, you can smoke weed. They got the red light district. Prostitution is legal. Las Vegas, right? Prostitution is legal. It's a known commodity, in society, and the fact that people are looking for avenues and different ways to kind of take advantage and use their bodies, right, in different ways. It's to be expected. I mean, if you got any type of sense, you got, any type of foresight, you can kind of see where some of these things could potentially go if not checked and not kind of processed the right way, right? So what I imagine now will happen is that some new site will pop up, some brand new site will pop up. Shit. So if anybody out there is a coder, IT, website design, web development, you might want to hop on that, right? There may be some new site that allows women to do what OnlyFans won't let them do, right? And so there'll be a transition in the wave, but I'm sure that site will now, they'll probably not give the same type of splits, not give the same type of margins, to where it's not as much of a, it's not as easy of a decision as it used to be, right? And now, not to mention the stigma that's on it, the potential that, who knows with this OnlyFans thing, who knows what they know? Maybe laws, maybe different things may be getting passed, that change the whole dynamic. I mean, I know that, now in New York City, right? Like they're no longer prosecute people, or prosecute women at least, for soliciting their bodies, which, I mean, shit, they wasn't doing shit about it before. You know what I mean? So like, what can you really say? Like, that's not like a shock. Um, that's not. There's no real impact outside of the perception. And if that is eased up, then maybe that's the direction some of these women will take. Um, who knows? I mean, there'll be a new wave. There's always a new Pornhub. There's always a new, site, or I won't give away too much game, but um, there's always something, right? Like, so it's not even like this is the end, but this is something that does signify like a change, at least in what was current, right? Because what was current was like OnlyFans was, that was like the new. It had the same type of impact as like a Napster, like, you know what I mean? You know what that is. You know what they do. You mention it to somebody who doesn't even, they're not even into that realm, like, and they've heard about it in past, and they know that's something, that, you know, if you hear about your daughter on OnlyFans, you know that's a bad look, right? So it was getting to a point where it was getting a little bit too big, a little bit too broad, and a little bit too encompassing, I guess you could say, as far as like any woman who, if you strip, you hopping on OnlyFans. If you obviously, if you already sell your body, why not? If you or get a lot of views online, if you got a large following on Instagram, there was incentive for you to just hop on OnlyFans, try to make that quick buck, run the numbers up. You see all type of people making millions of dollars in X amount a month, and these different things. So, like I said, it's no hate, it's no shade. I mean, I'm glad they got it off, but it wasn't something that ever should have been like uh, a long term avenue. And hopefully, the women, the people, the men, who are on there, they thought accordingly. You know what I mean? And we'll see. I mean, it's ironic. I know, without without name dropping and speaking on any different, you know, content outside my own. Um, you've heard people saying this, right? If you are into YouTube, if you are into, certain realms of, hip hop culture, you've heard people talking about how this shit wasn't gonna last, right? Like, you've seen the women flaunting their wealth, I guess you could say. Chicks making six figures, and all these different things, which, it's to an extent, right? Obviously, you know, you got to get it by any means, right? But like, you don't really want to see that be the way, right? And you want to see people at least like, damn, have some type of creativity about it, right? Like you just in the bathroom with it, right? Like getting smashed. So at least maybe some of those women who do have the talent and the potential, if that is a thing, right? If they do have the capability to like pivot elsewhere, they have been put in a position already to do that. And so, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of men out there will be tuned in to see what their favorite girl is doing after this decision. And you know, maybe the prices got a lot lower for you guys. You know what I mean? So hopefully, it's a win-win. Um, but yeah, I mean that's just a crazy, you know, crazy goings on. I guess you know, like I felt like it was coming personally. You know, just because I know certain things just don't last, right? Like they just don't. And if nothing else, OnlyFans seemed like it was one of them, right? Like you know, I know a few chicks who actually, you know, make some money on there. You know what I mean? And they do have a little small operation, which you know is probably better. And from what I heard of what I've been told, they're doing better than they were like at some of the positions they've had in the past, or they do it on the side, and it's been a good supplement to their income. You know, and most of them, fortunately, I don't think they do anything too crazy. You know what I mean? But maybe the ones who do, um, you know, we'll see. I mean, they have to pivot now, you know, so just like everything else in the world, you know what I mean? You got to be adaptable, you got to be ready for change, and same shit with these hoes, right? Like, you know, but nah, man, so uh, that's all I can really say on that, right? Like, testing out the new light, talking about some current events, and just kind of giving you another glimpse into, you know, what I'm about, you know, a different setting, a different, uh, you know, setup, I guess. And you know, this is what I'm working with, right? So, like I said before, we still have just the bare minimum, right? We're still working with just the bare minimum, trying to get off the ground, trying to get still more comfortable having these type of conversations. Because honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, like I might get a little more settled in as I go along, but I'm still self-conscious about every movement and everything I'm doing. So I want to get more comfortable and just kind of keep going into this journey, like I said. And once again, added a new piece of equipment, the ring light. 30 bucks didn't cost much, um, and you know this is what we have, right? And so you see for yourself, you see the results. And once again, like anybody else would tell you, I imagine the equipment, the things that you have will only take you so far. Once again, it's just about moving, right? So even if you doing it at a snail's pace, let's say, just do what you can, right, and get it done, right? And like I said, for me, that's what I'm trying to do. And you see what it is. I mean, another one in the books, right? Jay Haynes, Top Slug, Sofa King. We out of here, man. Yo, it's crazy. Like I tell you this, right? I don't even have a nickname in real life, right? I just use my real name. Never. I've had people say nicknames and they call me different shit, but I don't say that shit. So anytime I have to get on here and say in an alias uh, that you know basically I just made up, right? Like you know something has been a thing, or you know it's a combination of different things that come from like real world situations, of course, but like something I just put together to actually have to say it verbally. Like I got to work on getting comfortable with that. So when you see me kind of like laugh or like hesitate, you know, that's where that energy comes from. And I'm sure there's other people. I would imagine. Maybe it's just me, but I'm sure there's other people who have that same kind of thing, you know. And it's funny because even when I like get on a live stream or like interact with somebody like in the comments, even when they say it, like I see them hesitate But like what I think that ultimately that's a good thing, right? So if I can get myself to stand out, if I can get things to pop off, it's unique. It'll be able to resonate in a different way, right? Than if I just use my name, And plus, I my name I wouldn't use, but my initial and my last name, I think I'll let my son have that. So for the most part, you'll just hear me say that, and we'll go with whatever works, right? But like that's where that comes from. I just thought about that. I just thought I would say that, and there you have it, right? So another one. I still ain't talking about shit, right? Like, but we getting a little bit better, a little bit more comfortable each time, right? And yeah, if you see this, if you're watching, like, subscribe, show a little love, and just follow me on this journey. Fuck with me, and we'll see. I'm trying to make it happen, right? All right, we out.